All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Livestream Under the Moonshine. I don't even know which one this is. Maybe 160. It's been a while since I've done a live stream Under the Moonshine. We're gonna go ahead and start this one. This one is a visual novel, guys, called Void and Nothingness. Came out a few days ago on Steam. Price tag of $3.99. And we are gonna go ahead and try this game out, guys. Hang on. Come on, OBS. Work for me. Alright. OBS is being so slow. Anyway, this is a game, guys, where I get to be an actual hooker in New York. How you doing, Junior? Hey, Susan, welcome back. Want to go ahead and warn you younger viewers that this game may have content that is of a sexual or mature nature. So make sure you run it by your parents before you watch this. Make sure you understand that there may be very mature content in this game. Let me go ahead and put that here as well. Warning. All right, so hopefully I got that warning right at the top of my description now. Adult content likely in the stream of mature and or sexual nature. I believe it has a warning on the Steam page for this game as well. And yeah, that should be interesting. I don't know how good this game is going to be. I bought it last Friday or last Thursday or something like that. Wanted to play it then, but it wasn't working. So I had to leave a post for the developers to fix it. So they've got it fixed, it looks like, and we're going to find out what this game has to offer right here. So again, make sure that if you are under the age of like 15, 16 years old, make sure you let your parents know before you continue watching this particular visual novel. It is available on Steam, and I know Steam doesn't have anything too raunchy, but we'll find out. I've never really played too raunchy of a game, but I know that Steam doesn't allow like complete nudity and stuff like that. So hey Emma, how you doing? Junior, welcome back. Hey Pixel Gamer, Robo Ron, good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and restart because I don't have a save slot here. Do I really want to restart the story? I do. I like slow walks. No rush, no complications. Whenever I can make time to just walk, to join the crowds and enjoy the simple things like grocery shopping. Okay? Alice says, you need to hustle hard in this town to afford slow walks like this one. You need to hustle hard to avoid anything here. Okay. I'm not hearing any music or anything like that. I feel like I should be hearing some music. Menu. Music, here we go. Oh, I turned it on, okay. Still looks like I have to read it. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to turn the music down for you guys. Okay, can you guys hear me okay now over the music? I have no idea. Let me know if the music's too loud or if the music needs to be turned up or what. Can you guys hear any music at all? Let me know. Alright, so again, Alice says you need to hustle hard in this town to afford slow walks like this one. You need to hustle hard to afford anything here. And if we're talking about New York City, that's probably very true. Zax, what do you want? The Bo Chica? Wow, wow. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. I typically like visual novels. We'll find out if this one's any good. And Alice says, I enjoy these moments when I don't need to look perfect. No makeup, no high heel shoes, no fancy coat. This is my time to simply be myself. Slow and easy, no pretending, no playing a character. Just walking and absorbing the city. Okay, so I guess this is Alice here. Alright. Alice's sunbeam reflections on glass towers. Strange accents mixing into a rush of disjointed, overheard conversations. The smells of different street corners. All of these form the pieces of the puzzle which is the city. A place where some dreams come true, but where most get scattered and stepped on, ground up into the gears of impersonal industries. The city never changes. The people I see are always the same, different faces in the same clothes, sharing the same desires. Every other waitress tells you that she's an actress, and she's just waiting for the right role. Coffee bars are filled with tweens, staring at their screens, chatting about how their startups will be the next big thing while they scrape together the cash to pay the rent. The guy at the counter dreams of being a famous writer, and the assistant at a law firm draws comics while she imagines making pop art exhibitions. Then there are the worker bees who actually know they are worker bees, the ones who came here to create a better life for themselves and their families. They are the ones who are living in reality, who truly grasp the world that they live in. Them and the hustlers. If you can make it here, then you can make it anywhere, or so they say. So, we're reading this novel, guys. This game doesn't have any choices. There's no quick time events. There's nothing that I even choose to do in this game. I believe it's just a novel, so this is almost like me reading a novel to you. So we'll find out if this is worth a $4 price tag. I have no idea how long it lasts. I'm doing the first play of this game. No reviews on this game yet. So we'll decide together if this game is worth the $4 and decide if we thought it was entertaining. How you doing, MinMax? Welcome. So yeah, if you can make it here in New York, you can make it anywhere, or so they say. The ones who made it are my clients. The ones who didn't are just shadows on the sidewalk, of no impact on my life. Sometimes they shield my eyes from the bright sunlight. Other times, they're just to slow me down. They're there, and at the same time, they aren't there. I imagine that I'm one of the shadows when I walk down the street. When I'm myself, it brings me comfort knowing that when my eyes meet someone else's for a brief moment, I simply walk past them and I disappear. One among thousands. I imagine that during the day, the thoughts and desires of the crowd forms a collective buzz, which is the soul of the city. Inarath, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Inarath is he's a Twitch streamer. He's a Dead by Daylight Twitch streamer. He used to be. I had a pretty entertaining story with him a few months ago. Emma Spade says, I like it when people read me dirty stories before bed. Oh my god, Emma. Zaxtor, I have 2 more business-related questions to you. Should I ask here or privately on Steam? Probably privately, and rather if they're business-related. Alright, so, Alice goes on. For a moment, they believe they've found what they're searching for. I see it every time they love me for a few seconds, when they get that rush they needed, the reason they sought me out. Wow, okay. Then their faces change. They don't look into my eyes, lost in their own thoughts and searching for the rationale for what we just did, trying to bridge the disconnect between their actions and their feelings. They always come back, though. What I offer them is safer and more personal than any hard drugs that they could find on the streets. It's known as the oldest profession for a reason. So we all know what she's talking about, right? We all know what she's given these clients of hers that she's talking about coming back for more. And she's saying what I offer them is safer and more personal than any hard drugs they could find out on the streets. It's known as the oldest profession for a reason. Wow. Okay. My mom always said that. Wait a minute. My mom always said that I should watch out for men who are too lovable, the adorable types. She despised those the most. Was my dad a lovable man? I'll never know. It's interesting how easy it is to hate the ones we once loved. One simple betrayal, and they become your biggest enemy. One simple betrayal, and they become your biggest enemy, huh? My mom always taught me to be self-sufficient, not to rely on anyone being around forever. I was glad for those lessons in the end. I always wanted to live in Manhattan, to walk down the streets, to meet new people every day, get lost in the crowd. Somehow, I found myself here. Once I was on my own. Once I had independence thrust upon me. I grew up in a teeny town in the Midwest, a place where everyone knew everything about one another, all the rumors, the guilt, and the pain. Boy, I certainly know what she's talking about there. She's talking about growing up in a small town where everybody knew everything about each other. If you guys have ever lived in a country small town, you know exactly what she's talking about there. Sometimes it's easier to escape a place and its people than to try to solve misunderstandings. Imagine a place where you can't choose to walk down a different street to avoid someone because there's only one street. That's the type of town that I grew up in. My mom always talked about New York, about the time she spent here. Her eyes got so huge when she talked about all the different flavors, the characters she met, and the coincidences. Oh wow, there she is. She looks a little different there than she did on the street. Okay then. I try to get all my chores like shopping and cleaning wait a minute. I try to get all my chores like shopping and cleaning up out of the way in the morning. Afternoons are mine, for me to do whatever I like. There are days when I spend all afternoon in bed just letting time fly by. I watch the sun slowly move the shadows of my curtains and window shades across the bed sheets. I'm not lazy, but you can't be an explorer walking down the street and sipping coffee at interesting places every day. I don't want that to become routine. I don't have much of anything that I could call my own, something with personal meaning. You could burn all the clothes, the shoes, and the handbags. I don't care about those. I have them because I need them, not because they're important to me. The one thing dearest to me is a small hairpin. It belonged to my mother. I can look at it, touch it, and feel it for hours. I know every corner of it, every millimeter. Now, is she talking about a hairpin or is she talking about something else? I can look at it, touch it, feel it for hours. I know every corner of it, every millimeter. Hey, JTH, welcome, man. How you doing? No, she's talking about her hairpin. And I think she's talking about how that means more to her than all her clothes and handbags and everything else that she owns. And she goes on to say, it's a reminder of a past very different to the present I find myself in. Enerath is like, Jesus, Zax, please don't. Ha ha ha. My mom taught me to protect the things I love, not to leave them behind. The things we love the most often don't have a value for anyone else. If we lose them, then we don't cry for the moment. Oh, wait a minute. If we lose them, we don't cry for the money spent, but for the small piece of our own soul, for the memories. That's true enough. She's holding that hairpin in her hand right here, by the way, guys. So all you men need to quit. I see you guys up there. I see all you guys just gawking right here. Look, guys, she's holding the hairpin up here. Look, and look at her pretty eyes, guys. Look how blue they are. Come on now. Come on, all you boys and guys out there. So she's talking about things that, we don't lose them and we don't cry for the money spent, but for the small piece of our own soul, for the memories. So, for example, if you have something that's important to you, if a teddy bear, for example, You know, if you have an important teddy bear that you grew up holding all your life, maybe that teddy bear was there for you. You know, there's a lot of older girls and older women that have a teddy bear or whatever. But I'm just using that as an example. You know, I think what she's talking about is, you know, maybe that teddy bear was there on your loneliest nights, or the nights where, you know, maybe you cried over your lost dog, kind of like I lost my dog this last week, whatever. So if that teddy bear ends up having to be thrown away or it burns up in a fire or whatever, we don't cry because the teddy bear, you know, because the teddy bear was worth $19.99. We don't cry over that money that's lost in the teddy bear. No, there's no amount of money that can replace that teddy bear if it burns up in a fire. We held onto that teddy bear for years and years and years, and many lonely nights, you know, in our life or whatever. It's a piece of our soul. And so it's not the money that we miss, that we cry over. It's it means a lot more to us than that. And that can be, you know, an heirloom. That can be a lot of different things. I think everybody has something special, an object, if you would, of some sort that holds some kind of significant value to them. Whether it be, you know, an old note that your grandfather wrote when you were a kid, whatever that item is. I mean, there can be many things. That it could be something simple. You know, it could be that urn with ashes in it that's, you know, your mother's in. Whatever it is. There's things that are of value that the money spent on it simply can't replace. That's pretty cool so far. Alice goes on to say, I remember holding this pen in my hand while she taught me. I remember her soft hair and her smile. There was never any anger in her smile, even though I did some very stupid things. Even when I cursed and yelled at her, even when I left and didn't show up again until the next day. She must have been worried to death. I thought it meant that I was finding my own freedom, that I was smarter than her. Wearing high heels, drinking, going to adult-only clubs, taking pills. Oh wow. Those things must have made her cry 100 times. She knew, even though I didn't tell her. She must have known it all. The sun is slowly setting and my thoughts drift back to the present. Huh, 3:50 a.m. for me, and that relaxing Zach's voice is so nice. Oh, thanks, Henrath. The moment the phone rings, and just before a new dream starts, just before reality evaporates, is the only moment you remember how it feels to break out of your life and have it replaced by a fantasy. I miss what she's saying here. The moment the phone rings, just before a new dream starts, just before reality evaporates, is the only moment you remember how it feels to break out of your life and have it replaced by a fantasy. Okay, let's continue on. We believe a fantasy world every time we fall asleep. It's all too easy to fool us. You just close your eyes and you relax. The most bizarre fantasies will seem like hard facts. Okay, so we all have fantasies. We all have dreams. How you doing, Jacob? Good to see you, man. Oh, damn. She's in her panties and her undershirt here. So she's on the phone. She's getting a phone call. Okay, so somebody's calling her. So give me a minute, guys, because I'm just trying to make sure I understand what's going on. It sounds like she's getting a call for the business that she does, and she's talking about how it's not reality, it's like a fantasy. I would think it would be more of a fantasy for the guy calling her, not for her. For her, it's just a job. I mean, for her, it's just a way to make money. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. You know the drill, he says. So somebody's telling her, you know the drill. I start getting ready, and halfway, I order the cab. Frankie doesn't know where I'm staying, and I don't know where he calls home. We prefer it to be like that, always meeting on neutral ground. Our business lives and personal lives are completely separate. Frankie isn't a man in a suit, nor is he the usual agent. He's more of a shy lone wolf than a party animal. An introvert. Someone who likes clean-cut deals and no bullshit. I like those types. They come straight to the point. They don't whisper some fairy tale into your ear, nor do they put on a mask and act like somebody else. I've always wondered why Frankie was an agent. I heard that his mom was renting out condos. She's supposedly a big shot landlord. I guess he wanted to stand on his own 2 feet and not rely on mommy. Why did he choose the industry we're in? I have no clue. Maybe he likes the feeling of walking down the street looking like an ordinary white middle-class man, looking down on those so-called gangsters who wear gold rings and can't speak without cursing. The jerks who raise pit bulls to scare people out and act like they own the neighborhood. They're all full of crap. Not Frankie. He knows he's in control of many people's lives. He's the one connecting the people in need to the services they seek. I'm one of the things they seek. I'm a call girl. I provide a service to the lonely and to the thrill seekers for a price. Wow, so she is a call girl. She provides a service to the lonely and to the thrill seekers for a price. I think we all know what a call girl is. Frankie takes care of a bunch of girls. You get a call from him. He gives you all the details. A cab comes to pick you up and takes you to the client. And then you're on your own. So Frankie is her pimp, basically. Frankie takes care of a bunch of call girls. You get a call from him. He gives you the details. A cab comes to pick you up, takes you to see the client, and then you're on your own. What happens after that? Young bankers are the biggest pigs. You know the type. They come to Manhattan fresh out of college, horny and loud. Once they get money, they become little hairy monkeys jumping from branch to branch, club to club. They get drunk, they get high, and of course they get sad. They get sad that they have no control beyond what the bartender serves them. They want to feel like they're at the top of the ladder, like they made it. I'm already there. I've found my place in life. I can show that side whenever I want. They think that paying for someone like me elevates them because of my expensive clothes and my graceful walk. They boast about how much I cost them, just like their watches and their shoes. They're still kids, away from mommy for the first time. Cash alone doesn't give you class. Can you explain that, Zax? Oh my god, Emma. Manhattan fully wakes up just before the night begins, ready to accept the people they want to drink, to dance, and to love. On the street, you are surrounded by bright colors and loud voices. You breathe the perfumes and the colognes, among other things. Watching the crowds from the back of a cab, you can catch the glimpses of lives of countless people. You can tell if they're out to have fun, or if they're out just to work, just by looking at their face. They're either cautious, excited, determined, angry, happy, the whole spectrum of emotions on display for you to see. The world is highlighted by the light from neon signs all around, and your eye is caught by glitter and colorful makeup. Piercings and chains, silk and high heels, coexisting on the same streets. Empty office buildings, crowded bars. There are those who let loose, and those who just pretend. The pretenders walk around in their business suits, obeying the ritual that shows them they're social and team players. The dull looks, and the forced smiles. Never opening up, never joining the crowds, no matter how much they secretly want to. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished and professional to the end. Then there are the freaks, the ones the ladies and the gentlemen stare at for a moment as they pass. They might giggle and whisper to each other, making remarks like weirdo or crazy, and deep inside they fantasize about letting loose too. They wish they could cross the line of looks and behavior, get a haircut that would make old men shake their heads and mutter to themselves, Wear the sort of clothes that make the ladies clutch their Gucci handbags a little tighter. It's also interesting and funny at the same time to observe the distinguished ladies and the freaks, seeing the jealousy disguised in jokes and mean comments. And me? Don't mind me. I'm just a pussycat roaming the streets. Meow. Don't mind me as I observe you from my little four-wheeled cocoon, protected from the wind and the noise. A four-wheeled cocoon being a taxi, huh? The hotel lobby is exactly how I expect. The same as countless others I've seen: marble floors and walls, gold and brass trim, wood paneling, glass, and mirrors. It's pretty fancy to me. I know I couldn't afford a hotel room like that. The Motel 6 is more my kind of hotel, I'm just saying. You'd think they'd all hire the same designer. I feel at home in the familiar surroundings. The young girl at the reception smiles at me, the type of smile that shows she knows who I am and what I'm here for. Wow, that would kind of suck. They know the clues, the arrival time, the expensive clothes, the confident stride. She might imagine what it would be like to be someone like me for one night. She might even try it once. Judging by her red cheeks, her heart would probably beat out of her chest from the excitement. Huh. Everyone is drawn to new experiences. Everyone needs to try something outside of their normal life. You too, little receptionist mouse. Just don't go in too deep or you might not find your way back. I like these types more than these old hags that throw an ugly look at you. They think they can make you feel guilty because of what you do. In those small, cheapo hotels, they even ask you where you're going and what you're doing there. Oh, wow. I'm going to see a client, lady, and there's nothing you can do about it, I usually reply. Get their blood pressure up a little more. They shouldn't have asked if they don't want an answer. Huh. Hotels are where I prefer to conduct my business. I can't stand it when I'm asked to come to somebody's home. To lie there on the sheets on which a loving wife slept a few hours ago. To catch a glimpse of those family photos and pretend that I don't care. Wow, that would be hard. I could imagine that. Like having her profession and have to go to somebody else's home and lie there on the sheets that you knew like their spouse or their other significant other was just there sleeping on a few hours ago. To see the photos. I can understand that. This is pretty well written. To be affectionate and attentive to a guy who is willing to leave all that behind, if only for a moment. It's a risk bringing me to their house, but maybe that just adds to their thrill. What if she finds a hair? What if she finds us there? You might as well just stab her right in the heart. That's true. Not dragging your habits home shows at least some decency and respect. I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. I prepare my act and try to focus on keeping a cheerful smile on my face. This is my client's time, and I need to play my role. I don't smile pointlessly. I was told once a long time ago that if I smile too much, my face will be all wrinkles in no time. That I should only smile and laugh when I need to. I know it sounds silly, but it sort of makes sense if you think about it. But everyone needs a breather. Sometimes I go to see a stand-up comedy, and I love it. The first time I saw a stand-up comedian in real life, I realized how similar my work is to theirs. They need to keep their crowds entertained. They need them to be in a certain mood. They need to get them to laugh. I need to make them love me and to keep loving and seeking me. I bet you like to peek through the keyholes of presidential suites, to imagine yourself dressing up in satin lingerie and lying there on those silk sheets, your heart racing, ready to give yourself to rich, handsome businessman. Huh. Look at her face. But I know you wouldn't let any of the guests who pass through this lounge ever touch you. I wonder how you would react. Would you run away crying, or would you smile and toy with them before rejecting them? You keep your desire secret, stored away safely in your pocket. Be careful though. Those secrets are like marbles. At any moment you could slip, and then they will fall out and scatter all around, leaving you to chase them amongst the feet of the guests. Blushing and apologizing while 100 eyes stare at you. You don't want everyone knowing the secrets you keep so guarded. But don't worry, you'd only feel shame for a short moment, and after that, eyes that shame you would turn into eyes that reinforce your inner freak. You'd want to make them look at you with parenting eyes, and make them tell you that you should be ashamed of yourself, that your behavior is out of place and not suited for such a fine young lady. Your parents did a terrible job raising you if you ended up like this. They'd say, "Who thought of you to behave like this?" they'd add. "Horrible, just horrible. Look at you." Every day, you write down the guests' names and their details, the time of their arrival and their departure, imagining how you'd write your own story. You imagine writing it from the bottom of your heart. You don't need to change who you are, little mouse. Your inner freak is slowly surfacing. You just need to bring it out in pieces slowly. Embrace who you really want to be and be comfortable with it. I like using the elevator in these places. If I happen to be in one with a man, they get all uncomfortable. They don't want to show that they're horny little dogs, eager to rub up against anything that'll let them. Women look at me with a special expression, one that says they're saints compared to me. Most of the time, they're just lying to themselves. "Hello, Mr. Gray Fox. I see you'd like to spend time with a young lady like me. The smell of fresh perfume. Not too much, just enough to make you want more. Tight, silky curves. What's that? You'd like a taste of, right?" I sometimes ask myself if types like this have a daughter or not. I'm not sure if I want to know the answer. So here I am, ready to give you what you need. Congratulations to us. He plays it cool. Oh, so you're James Bond now all of a sudden, huh? His suit must have cost a fortune. Hopefully I won't end up like one of Bond's girls. It rarely ends well for them. What type of client are you, though? Do you play cool all the time? Are you a gentleman through and through? Do you turn into a hog once you crawl into bed? Or do you like to play games? Do you like to be tied up? Do you prefer to tie a certain someone up? Show me your true colors. Wow. Alright, sounds good, NRF. I swiftly dropped my coat to the floor. Oh wow. Leaving me standing in front of him in my underwear. That should get his blood pumping. Damn, she just dropped it just like that, guys. What the heck? Look at that bra strap off her shoulder and everything. Look at him all looking cool at her like, man, I'm too cool for you. I swiftly dropped my coat on the floor, leaving me standing in front of him in my underwear. That should get his blood pumping. Don't throw that poker face at me. We're not in Las Vegas, dummy. I always keep my smile and cheerful attitude, even if they have that stone-cold look on their faces. That's what makes it a profession. I can't get offended. This is their time and their money. Me acting the right way is what that money pays for. I'm inches away from grabbing Mr. Gray's foxtail. Wow. Okay, wait a minute. I'm inches away from grabbing Mr. Gray's foxtail, but he points to the door. Go in. Nothing more nor less. Just 2 words coming from that stone-cold face. Of course I will. Following instructions is all part of the service. I wonder if the expensive suit and shortness of words means he's a foreign diplomat. I've met that type before. Mr. Gray Fox Diplomat doesn't seem to follow me as I move and walk through the door. It seems there will be some sort of surprise waiting for me on the other side. Oh wow, okay. What could be waiting for her? As I step into the room, I spot a female figure on the bed. I expected another man, but this isn't so uncommon. Some men like the idea of a threesome, and they have the money to arrange one this way. Some just like to watch, to feel in control as the action. Or they like to watch and feel in control of the action even though they're not taking part. The girl lying on this bed doesn't seem to be happy to be here though. She's curled up and facing away from me. Wow, this has got interesting all of a sudden. So she went to meet this client who she doesn't know at an expensive hotel. She's a call girl, she's a hooker, guys. And she's talking about the different clients she meets. And she meets this guy, and he has a stone cold face. He tells her to go in the room. She finds a lady in a ball here that doesn't seem to be very happy about being here. And she talks about how this isn't very uncommon for a guy to pay for services just to watch, rather than be a part of it. But she's all curled up and facing away from me. Petite, pale, and young. Looking so fragile and out of place, curled up on the brightly colored spread of the expensive room. Well, that's almost sad, right? She looks sad. She looks like, what the heck? I remember the emotions. How it feels to be scared to stay, but even more scared to run. This must be what my client gets off on. Taking someone who didn't know what they were getting themselves into, innocent and naive, and chewing them up. For a moment, my mind flashes to the young receptionist downstairs. Stay safe, little mouse. Unfortunately, I have seen this before, and I know I'll see it again. A broken little meat puppet tossed among the wolves. They do this. They do as they please with you. A broken little meat puppet tossed among the wolves, and they do as they please with you. They tell you how you're pretty, and how they admire you, while they make you lie to them over and over again. They just watch you as they break your will. I was the same at one time, lost and scared with no one to turn to. Luckily, I met Frankie, and he got me out of that life, gave me some more control back. I dread to think where I would be without him. The Gray Fox tells me I should go in alone, and that I'll know what to do. Going in alone usually means I'm being recorded. I don't like that, having a permanent record of my act, but it's not dangerous, so I don't ask any questions. That's how I roll. There are some red lines, and I haven't crossed them yet today. He says that I'll know what to do. I certainly do. He wants me to take this little flower he's presenting to me on a silver platter and make it bloom. Just for him. He needed a professional to help him bring out the full potential of this girl. He wants to see all the different colors of her, the full spectrum of her emotions. No wonder that old gray fox can't do it himself. How could an old man ever really understand a young girl like this one? All he understands is his own gratification. Wow, there's a lot of truth there. I've seen the cutest ones end up in dirty corners sticking needles into their arms. Oh, that's sad. I've seen the cutest ones end up in dirty corners sticking needles in their own arms. As a passerby, you're shocked. You don't expect to see this on your way to the grocery store at first, but then you get used to it. There are just too many. I hate drugs. I've sworn to myself that I'll never use them. Never again. When I first arrived in the city, I ended up in situations very similar to the one this girl's in. Happy to be lying on clean bed at least, but if it meant being abused by a man in a suit? He tried to comfort me, but all I could feel was this old man's sweat and the stench of his breath. I imagined that every bit of me that he touched would turn old and ugly like his fingers. Oh, wow. I wanted to cut his throat, but of course I couldn't bring myself to do that. Instead, I just cried. He thought it to be because I was alone, but the truth was that it was all because of him. Did I look like this back then? Probably. Huh. Shivering, stripped of my clothes, all pale and weak. You can't just run away, can you? There's no other place you know in the city, is there? I know how that feels. You're seeking moments when you're alone to just start crying again, because you're never really alone in your thoughts. Your past self can't handle the current image of you. You start to avoid mirrors because they remind you of what you become. You could be surrounded by a luxury 100 times greater than this, and still, it wouldn't be a substitute for losing yourself. I move closer to the girl and hear the door close behind me. At this point, I'm quite sure that I am being recorded. You think I've never experienced this before? They call you in and tell you to make out with a hot young guy in front of a mirror that covers the whole wall. At first, I didn't know what it was all about. I thought the guy was some super rich kid, that he was the client, but the client or clients were on the other side of the mirror, watching everything. Some are just ashamed that they can't get a hard-on for more than a minute. Oh wow. Others want to stay incognito. Watching online porn doesn't do it for them anymore. They can't help themselves. They still have a need for it. Even though they've become awkward or can't handle the thought of not being able to perform anymore. Wow. They can't help it themselves. They still have a need for the sex, the porn. And even if they become awkward, so awkward they can't handle the thought of not being able to perform anymore. They want a window to their youth. I hate to break it to you, silver foxes. Silver foxes, interesting name for old men. But time machines don't exist. You're just not capable anymore. Why can't you just get old and be nice grandfathers? Regardless of how many young girls you drag from the streets into luxury apartments and how many escorts you call in, you still remain incapable. Why the tears? Wow. Well, it sounds pretty brutal and honest though, right? In any case, I guess I won't get paid if I just sit down and relax. Some other girl will be called in instead of me, and I refuse to pay, some other girl will be called in instead of me, and I refuse to play that game. So what difference does it make? I'll at least try being gentle. Don't be afraid, little puppy. I'm not here to hurt you. I am your friend. Please don't bite me. I certainly won't bite you. Let's be friends, if just for a moment. Forget that gray-haired suit outside the door. He's not even there right now. That door is locked. Forget the demons in your head. Everything's good now. It's just you and me, okay? Your eyes are bright and clear. I would expect them to be red from crying. How do you do it? Are you just pretending? What's your name? The girl just stares at me, as if she doesn't understand me. Wow, you can see the expressions though. I mean, here's the experienced one, and here's somebody brand new and scared to death and sad. And I don't know. Pretty good artwork there. The girl just stares at me as if she doesn't understand me when I ask her name. I don't want to be pushy. I'm Alice, nice to meet you. I'm not here to hurt you. Give me a sign if you're uncomfortable with anything, okay? Let's be friends. Just for now. Again, it's that numb look. It seems like she doesn't speak English. Or does she have an impairment of some kind? I don't know how to tell. Maybe she's already been pushed too far. Whatever the problem is, talking to her doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. And the tears in her eyes. I've never seen eyes that look so glassy. Her cheeks are all wet from crying, bordered by dried tears making pale patches. If kissed there, it would probably be like licking salt before a tequila shot. She's not making any sounds. She's just shivering. I'm not here to break you, little puppy. I'm here to show you that you can keep hold of yourself even in these moments. You don't need to let anybody break you just for their own satisfaction, nor should you let your own pain or fear break you. Let the suffering be temporary. Frankie, what kind of clients are these? I'll stay for now, but I have a bad feeling about this situation. After a few more moments of the girl slowly looking up at me, I expect her to finally speak, but instead she points towards the bathroom. Oh wow, what's going on now? She's pointing at the bathroom. Following her finger, I see a large deep bath, doubling as a hot tub. Is this part of the scene I'm playing out then? Are you truly a victim here, or just acting a role like I am? We stand up together and walk to the bathroom. Once there, she moves up to crouch on the platform around the tub. You feel at home in the water, right? I do too. I imagine that my sins are washed off my skin when I sink below the surface. The girl doesn't seem to take a deep breath. She just dives right in and stays underwater like a statue. It's as if she's hiding. Or is it some kind of ritual before we begin? Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going at all. A few seconds would be okay, but she stays under the water. It feels like too long. Me, I'd be short of breath already. I guess I'm the type who worries when someone does something stupid. I dive in too, not to accompany her, but to check on her. The moment I touch her, she shakes and slips away from my hands. At this point, I actually appreciate cameras recording me, if for no other reason to show that I didn't drown this girl myself. After a moment, she stops shaking and just slowly rises to the surface, staring me in the eyes. Oh, you like to play pretend, don't you? What are you? A mermaid, maybe? Should I play along? Do you want me to be your accomplice, a hunter, or God forbid the prey? It's me who caught you, remember? I take my precious hairpin and I put it on the side of the bathtub, on the outside so it doesn't slip into the water and disappear down the drain. Today seems to be full of surprises. Usually I would have taken it off sooner. I wonder if she's given any instructions by Mr. Gray, Fox Diplomat, or if it's all in her hands. Well, even if it's not right now, I'll make sure it's soon. I'm certain that I won't get paid for hanging out on the bathtub. Show me how a mermaid spreads her fins, pretty please. You won't lose a single scale, little mermaid. I slowly touch the inside of her thigh. It seems like you deceived me. There is no fin. There's no scales here either. Why, you're full of surprises, aren't you? Don't just stare at me with those dull eyes. You have the same kind of poker face as the man guarding you. Your skin is like soft, yielding. It's flawless, without a mark or blemish. There's no scars, unspoiled, and fresh. Many girls would kill for such skin. Makeup helps with the look, but what's important is how it feels to touch. Some of the prettiest girls like their fluffy pudding or rusty door. Wait a minute. Makeup helps with the look, but what's important is how it feels to touch. Some of the prettiest girls feel like their fluffy pudding or rusty doorknobs. Something else that's rusty that one touches when you touch them, but not you. I could happily hug you for an hour, but I fear you might get uncomfortable. The girl reaches out behind the edge of the bathtub and places a nice-looking box next to us, the type you use for jewelry. She points her finger at it and just stares in its direction with that same dull look of hers. Do you want me to open the box? Okay, at least things are moving forwards. Clients sometimes have a particular item that they want me to wear or to use. I reach out, slip open the clasp, and open the box. Instantly, my smile drops, and I draw my other hand away from the girl. It's a needle. I don't even bother asking what will be pushed through. I don't even bother asking what will be pushed through the needle, or why. Well, she's already said that she doesn't do drugs. Oh my. That's it. That's my line. I'm not crossing my line today. She's not doing drugs. I'm sorry. You want me to go to bed with a girl who can't even talk to me? Fine. I'm no genius myself. You want to film me? Why not? But don't make me do drugs on top of all that. That's a combination I don't need. Oh, look at the girl's face here now. Huh. She's walking out. The most important rule is that I don't do drugs. Not in my own time, and definitely not with a client. You can find those types at any street corner, so why call me? Get a cheap crackhead for your sick taste. I swiftly pull on the few clothes I brought and rush out. There's no time to dry up. There's no time for anything. Frankie and I need to have a talk, a serious one. I open the door I came in, and without a word I walk straight past the gray-haired diplomat jerk. He's still standing there like he's guarding the Pope or the Queen or something. Screw your money. Screw your money. Put it all up your ass while you're at it. You're surprised? Did you think I'd have no boundaries and no rules? You're underestimating the likes of me. Top class isn't just about the presidential suites and the satin sheets. Oh, I like that rhymes. But it's also about knowing when to stop. We have standards. We do have rules. We provide an experience. We're not slaves to your excesses. I continue down the hall as if someone's chasing me. The diplomat guy didn't say a single word. He didn't try to stop me or shout after me. There was no "come back at once," nor was there any of the "where do you think you're going" or "stop right there." I sincerely hate those with all my heart. What do I think I'm doing? I'm obeying my rules, and as you know, the rules are the rules. The pin. Oh no, she forgot the pin. She forgot her hairpin. We already talked about how important that hairpin was and how it was more important than all of her belongings. The one thing that's of value to her, her mother's hairpin, she left it on the tub. Oh no, that would be awkward. How you doing, Brookie Bear? What's going on? Hey, Kool-Aid, how you doing, buddy? So the pin, I forgot to put it back on. The only thing I have left of my mother. Oh, that's heartbreaking. I shouldn't have taken it with me in the first place. Wow, what a way to learn, huh? I thought it would protect me. I thought that the bit of my mom, which is still inside of it, would watch over me. My stupid superstition. I'll do anything, just give me back my pen. As I enter the room, I feel a warmth and a numbness spread through me. I feel disoriented, like my brain is fighting against my senses. Oh my, what's going on now? What is going on now? Cooking pork chops and mac and cheese? That sounds good, Brookie Bear. What do you guys think is going on now? She enters the room and she feels a warmth and a numbness spread through her. She feels disoriented, like her brain is fighting against her nerves. I don't know if you guys can hear the music at all. Maybe that'll help. Can you guys hear that more now? Anybody got a guess of what's going on? I'm curious if any of you guys have a guess of what's going on. I have no idea. As I enter the room, so she went back into the hotel suite where she was supposed to get it on with that young girl, and but then she had a needle and wanted her to do drugs. She was drugged, you think, Emma? Well, let's find out if Emma's right. Anybody else got any more guesses? I feel a warmth and a numbness spread through me. Probably. Yeah. She got a drug enema. There's an intense bright light all around and everything is washed out. All the color faded to white. Everything except the scene playing out in the middle of the room. Uh-oh. There's an intense bright light all around and everything is washed out. All the colors gone and faded to white. Everything except for a scene playing out in the middle of the room. Am I seeing this right? What is she seeing? What's going on? I don't understand. This shouldn't be happening. Things like this just don't happen in the real world. What the hell? Huh, I wasn't expecting that. I see the diplomat guy. Or should I say, I see his body. A bloody lump of flesh shivering in the air. He's being held up and chewed by that little girl. On his neck as well, like a freaking zombie. This looks like something you'd see in The Walking Dead. Uh-oh, this just got interesting again. What the heck? The one I called a mermaid, a little puppy, the one I thought I needed to protect, is chewing on someone's neck like a lion who just caught her prey. Wow. I see blood pouring out of the wounds on the diplomat's neck, drenching his shirt and dripping onto the pale white ground. There's nothing else on the ground except for the puddle of his blood. This took a turn. Gross, Brookie Bear says. Someone called the cops. I didn't see this coming either. The one question I have right now is why is she seeing nothing but white and this in the middle of the room? Is it because she's on drugs? But you wouldn't get a high and see weird crap that quickly. So yeah, this has gotten pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on. That's pretty morbid though. So there's nothing else on the ground except for the puddle of his blood, and it's completely white in the room, and all she sees is this. The only noise is the girl chewing and tearing pieces of flesh, and the sound of blood dripping onto the ground. Wow. Look at her mouth and her eyes. Good grief. Her eyes look like flames and black. It's as if the whole room has been bleached. The only color I can focus on is the red and the blood. Now, this can't be the world I know. Things like this just don't happen. My legs start shaking. Wow. Alice, do something. You can't just stand there as if you're in second in line, as if you're waiting to be eaten too. Don't be a dummy, Alice. So she's telling herself to get the hell out of there before she becomes the next thing being eaten on. I take a step back. There's nothing else I can do. I almost fall backwards. That's how badly my legs are shaking. Somehow, I keep my balance. Somehow, I take another step away from the nightmare in front of me. Suddenly, it's as if I'm being stepped back into my own reality, and my brain starts to function again. Clarity returns. The moment I realize I've reached the door, I turn around. I stumble and almost touch the ground with my fingers. I'm like a rag doll. I try to run, but I'm sure it would take like a... I try to run, but I'm sure it would look like a drunken jog to anybody watching. You know how you do some things instinctively? Sometimes your body just does what it has to survive, even though your mind is so afraid that you'd rather just crawl into a corner and close your eyes. Wow, look at her. I imagine it, that thing, running alongside the cab, then breaking the window and just flying straight in. I can barely bring myself to look outside, blocking out the city that felt so comfortable before. I don't want that thing or anyone else to know where I am or where I'm heading. The cab driver's nice, I tell myself. He won't turn into a monster. He just won't turn around and show me his glowing red eyes. Everyone in the world didn't become zombies all of a sudden like in those movies, right? That doesn't happen in the real world. It wasn't a zombie though, was it? What was it? I refuse to think of what it was as a she. It might have looked like a female, but I don't even think it was human. I can't get the image out of my head. It wasn't mindless like a zombie, or it was more like a vampire. But vampires aren't real either. What I saw just wasn't possible. It wasn't possible for that thing to just float in the air. It wasn't possible that it ate a man. It wasn't possible that the room was pure white and featureless, without any windows or corners, without any visible sources of light. I can't take this. None of this makes any sense. I just curl up on the seat and wait for the cab to reach the destination. Yeah, it sounds like she's hallucinating to me, but... This is an old rundown hotel on the other side of town. I used to use this a long time ago. It's cheap, not all that flashy, and it's hard to find even for locals. I'm not even sure how I found it, or how it's still in business. It doesn't really matter right now though. I'm not looking for luxury. I don't care if it's smelly and dirty, as long as I have 4 walls around me. Hey Majumu, how you doing? Like storybook play? This is just a novel. This is more just, I'm not making any choices or anything like that. I'm just reading to you guys. This is your bedtime story tonight. Everything feels too open and too exposed. So I stumble into the bathroom and climb into the tub. My heart won't stop hammering in my chest, and I can't shake that feeling of being hunted and trapped in this room. Damn. She looks a little more nervous than she did when she walked into that hotel all confidently like a experienced hooker that she was. Creepy bedtime story, right? Yeah, no kidding. I need to clear my head for a moment or so I can run a bath, even as I undress and climb into the heart. Wait a minute. Even as I undress and climb, in my heart doesn't stop hammering, and in my chest, I can't shake the feeling of being hunted and trapped in this room. What if I just woke up in this bathtub? Then how did I get here? The cab, and before that, was everything that preceded the cab ride even real? Can I even trust my own memories? Wait, this can't be real. The bathtub is cold, but I'm not shivering because of that. You could put me in front of a warm fireplace and I'd still be shaking. I haven't felt this rush of emotion since I was a teenager trying things for the very first time. The first time a boy kissed my belly button, the new sensations of the anticipation making me breathe deeply, making my heart beat so hard I could feel it beating inside of my chest. The first time a boy saw everything, the first time I held a naked body against my own, the first time I felt the things I'd only joked about with my friends. Smiling, laughing, pretending to resist. Those are the times I remember shivering like this. Those times I was happy and excited. This time my mind is in complete chaos. I almost wasn't able to give the cab driver the money for the ride. Reaching into my purse and into my wallet and taking out money felt like surgical procedure. I just had to focus on every movement. Sorry. I can't be having a trip. I don't remember eating or drinking anything at the hotel. I certainly didn't inject anything. Okay, so she's saying she's not drugged. She's saying she knows she didn't get injected or inject anything into her body. She didn't even eat or drink anything. So, you know, she can't be drunk or something. Great, Emma says. Half these kids will have nightmares of hookers and vampires. That's funny. Sweet hooker dreams. Guys gotta love them. I was once on an involuntary acid trip, but I remember knowing that I was mentally off. I was at a party years ago when some jerk slipped a pill into my drink. After I began talking to the wall, everyone got super protective and wanted to help me. I really hate when people do that. Are you feeling alright, sweetie? What did you take? This is different. This time, it's not the whole world that's transformed. It's just that one room I entered. That one room that was different. The door is flimsy, and in my mind, it might be made out of paper. I'm not sure I'd feel much safer if the door were made of steel, however. What if it's on the other side, just listening to me breathing, trying to figure out if I'm here? Slowly turning the doorknob, what would I do if it came rushing in? Would I end up just another shivering lump of meat, held in the air, my throat ripped open by its fangs? I don't want to die. Not as a victim, not as something's meal. I don't want to be looked at the same way someone would look at a steak on a plate. I didn't come this far just for it to all end like this. What if it tracked me here? What if it really does come through that door? Will I be disoriented, screaming, desperately trying to fight it like some cheap horror movie? The filler victim, the one that is killed just to get the audience's attention. If that's the case, I might as well just stay still and close my eyes and accept the fate that's been decided for me. Wow. And Claire says, Alice! Who the hell is Claire? Alice! Of course you can. Is something wrong? Are you alright? A beacon of light in a dark pit. Isn't that the right description of Claire? Or is she just a placeholder that I feel with whatever thoughts and emotions I choose? Claire says, I'm glad to have you. It's been so long. When was the last time you came up here? I can't even remember. Once you get to the big city, it's just hard to leave, right? To pay the rent there, you need to work. And you need to work, to be able to work, you need to be able to pay the rent. It's a never-ending cycle, right? They don't give you a moment to rest. And Alice says, they? Claire's like the slave drivers, the bossy people. And Alice is like the men in suits? If that's what you prefer to call them. I heard that the prices have gone up tremendously in the last years. How can you afford to live in Manhattan? And Alice says, you're my only hope. I'm so glad you moved closer to New York, but you're still a little away. So, you want to escape for a while, but stay nearby? Able to see the chaos, but not be part of it? I needed to be around someone I could trust again. I'm sorry I didn't call you sooner. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just really busy. I can understand that. You can't come here every weekend, and I can't come to New York either. But let's just make the best of the time we have, shall we? I'm so glad we'll be together again. Me too. Alice says, a little bird who flew, not from place to place, but from time to time. That's Claire. There's an image of us which I recall whenever I'm around her. Two superheroes of the playground, two racers on their little bicycles. We hadn't yet hit puberty. We were just two kids having fun, not at all afraid of what would come. Coming home with small injuries too often, without unrealistic ambitions, without regret. We just had fun, smiling and laughing for hours. Those were the most carefree days of my life. Claire moved out of town Claire moved out of town sometime around the time we were 10. Those carefree summers changed forever. I was too young to go searching for Claire, so I searched for myself. Puberty, high school, and the usual dramas that ended in regrets. All the ambitions that sparked into being, excuse me. All the ambitions that sparked into being after she ended in the cold autumns of our small Midwest town surrounded by nothing but endless roads. Claire sought me out through the internet. We cried so much when we finally met after all those years. I could recognize the small girl in her face from the very first moment. So she's talking about how this was a best friend she had before she was 10 back in the really small town in the Midwest. And she moved away or whatever and they lost touch. And Claire ends up seeking her out over the internet and finding her. And they got together. And when they got together, they cried so much that they cried so much when they finally met after all the years that had passed. And that she could still recognize the small girl that she remembered in her face from the very first moment. It was the same face, the same smile, just grown up. A reminder that someone shared some of my best memories. I made sure that my work stayed far away from them. Although we've known each other for an eternity, I'm afraid our relationship would get clouded if I told Claire everything that I do. So she doesn't want to tell her best friend from past, that she's a hooker. How's it going, Roz? Welcome. I don't want her to see behind the mask. It wouldn't be fair to her, or maybe to me. I want to look into her eyes and see the same carefree spark as when we were kids. That spark is something that always calms me down and gives me joy. Sometimes I imagine staying here with Claire. She lives here on her own, and she's always so happy to have me. But I wonder if it would really be me here. I'm not cheerful all the time. I often feel bad for not being such a carefree and nice person as my host. She's the type that's just too nice for me to be around for too long. There's a divide that I start to feel when we're together for a while. The demons inside of me mustn't come out. Claire says, "Let's do whatever makes us happy and do nothing else." The world can't be that good, Claire. Claire says, "But we don't need the whole world to be good, do we? Just bits and pieces, just our part." Alice says, "Aren't those bits and pieces part of something that is already broken?" "There's nothing broken about this world, Alice." "There isn't?" I must be the broken one then. If something doesn't fit into our perception of the world, then we tend to dismiss it. The ones we call crazy tend to think the world is wrong and that they're right. We torture them and burn them at the stake. The sea calms me down. The waves are so random and never stop coming, a reassuring presence. I get lost in the noise and the swell and the crash of the waves, and my thoughts dissolve. But those demons are now overshadowed by one thing, the memory, the sight that keeps replaying in my mind whenever I let my mind wander. Look how sad she looks right here. And she's laying here in a t-shirt and panties as well as her friend Claire. What the heck? Look how sad she looks though. Really good art. Hey Ron. No, we're not Ron, but Rage Reaper. Hey Rage Reaper, how you doing, man? So the memory, the demons are now overshadowed by that thing. Oh, the thing that she saw. The girl eating that guy. The memory, the sight that just keeps replaying in my mind whenever I let my mind wander. So she went to her friend Claire's to try to get away from that haunting memory of that girl eating that guy's neck. And it just keeps playing in her mind even though she's far from New York and at her friend's house. Whenever I'm not occupied, not concentrating on a particular task, I see it. Blood painted on a white floor. a painting stained by a red brushstroke, abstract images and colors, my mind drawing connections to what I saw. I'm not just running away from that demon, I'm running away from my thoughts, from the things that remind me of what happened. It seems like half the time you're trying to escape from events in your life, and the other half are from memories of those events. If I'm crazy, then I retreat. Wait a minute. If I'm crazy, then a retreat might help me regain some sanity. If I'm not, and the whole world is really a place where monsters and blood, then I will at least feel safer here with Claire. She's a lighthouse guiding me to the truth. If I'm wrong about what happened, then I want to know how it's possible for me to see the things that I saw. If what I saw was really that, then I want to know how to escape it. Either I'm fleeing from reality or I'm fleeing from my own mind. Either way, I'm fleeing from something. What if your nightmares grow in the closet where you had locked them up? What if your nightmares grow in the closet where you had locked them up? What if they slowly build a cocoon and then hatch, stronger with wings? Will you be able to escape your nightmares then? And if not, will you be able to catch them and lock them up again? They might have already gone through metamorphosis, hatched, and are watching you, preparing and planning. You should never lock up nightmares, but you should fight them. You should never run away from them, but confront them while you still can, while they're still small and weaker than you are. Don't let them feed on your fear. Claire says, Am I part of your breather, Alice? And Alice says, You're my dearest friend. Then why do you only come when you're in pain? Aw. Alice says, How do you know I'm in pain? I can tell you're in pain by looking at the artwork here in your eyes. I see it leave your face whenever we're together for a while. And Alice says, You see right through me. Claire says, Will you let me be in your world too, Alice? Claire would never say that. She would never question me. She's just too kind and too generous to look for my motive, to demand answers. So what does Claire really say? Claire says, I was thinking about you a few days ago, Alice. I was hoping we'd meet soon. There's a thread connecting us forever, isn't there? Yeah, we keep finding a way back to one another. Here in the nothingness between the peace of the small countryside towns and the chaos of the metropolis, I come here when I'm too scared or stressed to handle the city anymore. And then I go back, and when I go back, nothing has changed. The city could have almost had been on hold while I'm gone, but I'm refreshed and I'm ready to face it again. This place is safe. Claire never tells me that I messed up. It's all up to me to figure that out. She just smiles back and supports me for taking whatever path is ahead of me. Alice says, Please give me guidance. Don't just echo my own thoughts. Give me insight. Be something more than just a blank piece of paper. Tell me how I'm insane. How everything I'm doing is wrong, even if I learn to do it perfectly. You never suggest anything outrageous, though. You just drag me even deeper into accepting the reality placed in front of me. You wouldn't understand me, Claire. You'd think I'm telling you some awkward joke or that I'm talking symbolically. You just smile at me and shake your head. What an awful story. What are you saying, Alice? I don't get it, Alice. What do you mean, Alice? Can I even trust my own memories? That what happened was real? I didn't confront the demon, my nightmare, back at the hotel, and nor am I confronting it now. For all my talk of facing our fears before we grow stronger, I'd like nothing more than to lock this one up forever in a closet and have it fade away into a dream. If only it were something that I imagined, it would dissolve into nothingness when I wake up. If only I could tell myself the past is no more. I sometimes imagine being a ghost who flies away from the Earth and who just travels the universe. I go further and further, traveling for ages until I get so far that I can't see any more stars or galaxies. Out there in the dark void, I fall asleep and I feel safe, outside of the boundaries, outside of anyone's reach. I was listening to raindrops hitting the window while I snorted some coke given to me by a boy in school. The rain became a magical hum. I was 17 back then, just me and my mom living together. Not a single day went by without me needing to apologize for something. But my mom, she still loved me. She stood by me through, even though she knew I'd forsaken the entire world, and she calmed me when I cried. She comforted me so often back then. I was so far from grown up. I experimented with drugs when I was alone. I wanted answers and thought that I could find them hidden in my mind. Not anywhere out there in the huge world, but deep inside of me. Mom usually got home after midnight. She worked at a nearby bar and worked long hours. She used to laugh and say she worked for an awkward AM to a silly AM. From an awkward AM to a silly AM. I heard her get home that night while I watched raindrops flow down the windows in little streams. Those streams that join then break up. You know those, don't you? Yep, I've seen those streams on the windshield of my car many times when it rains. A drop hits the glass and then it slides downwards. It sometimes joins a stream and sometimes it avoids it. Other times, the stream breaks into two, each finding its own path. My mom usually let me know when she got home at night. Usually, she wants us to talk for a moment, even if I'm only half awake. I remember looking forward to those moments in the late-night talks under the dimmed lit lights in the kitchen, me in my pajamas and Mom in her jeans. She unpinned her hair, shook it out, scratched her head, and sat down with those closed eyes, smiling. I was afraid of being an adult because I didn't know if I could take the work and the responsibilities. To be able to feel satisfaction after long hours and come home after midnight every day, my mom was my hero for being so strong. I heard the door slam downstairs. Then I heard my mom shout my name, but I was in no state of mind to talk to her. My mind was just drifted away that day. Okay, so her mom gets home. She's remembering when she was 17. Her mom gets home after working long hours at the bar again, and she's done acid. And she's kind of tripping, and she's listening to the raindrops and watching the raindrops hit the windshield. Her mom gets home, shouts her name, and she's in no state of mind to talk to her. And my mind just drifted away that day. I remember the next morning very vividly. Sunbeams embraced my face as I woke up. The light was overwhelming, warm and intense, unusual for that time of year. I had no headache, no bad taste in my mouth. Everything felt perfect. Nothing was itching. I didn't feel like I needed to change position in bed. I was completely immersed in my surroundings. As I walked downstairs, I didn't hear a sound. I usually hear Mom doing all sorts of things in the morning, like preparing breakfast, cleaning up, or talking on the phone. But this time, there was just complete silence. I walked barefoot, one step at a time, slowly. It was strange, as if I woke up in a different dimension than the one I fell asleep in. How can you have such a good feeling after waking up? The carpet, the wooden floor, and the walls felt so warm, full of energy. And then I saw her. Oh no. Lying on the floor in the kitchen, not moving an inch. Please, God, please let this be just a dream, I repeated to myself over and over again. But I never woke up from it. My plea was never answered. It seems like it's not even God can change the past. And if he could, would he do that just for me? Sometimes I imagine that I'm not just a teeny human in this world, and that I have a mission, a special purpose. I guess you can set yourself free through the inner world by letting your imagination roam freely there. But you can also enslave yourself in your inner world by creating rules and limits by which wall you in and limit you. You lock some of your memories in small boxes. You close them up and seal them so that nothing ever comes out. And over the years, you build a whole warehouse of these boxes in your head. You know, that makes a lot of sense. We do have experiences and memories and things in our life that we don't want to remember. You know, problems or whatever. Bad memories. You know, maybe somebody's dying or somebody close to you or whatever. We have these memories that can haunt us, and we try to put them away. You know, as she says, you lock some of your memories in small boxes, you close them up, and you try to seal them away so that they never come back out again. And then over the years, you end up building a whole warehouse full of all these boxes in your head. I like that. Most of them seem to be a nuisance. But there are memories you wish you had remembered. You're not sure why you didn't engrave them into your mind. Why do we remember moments of shame and guilt and pain more vividly than those of love? That's a good question. Why not remember holding a flower instead of when you cut your finger? Why do the moments of someone's death so often overshadow the moments during which we stood by their side? Do these thoughts teach us, or do they imprison us? I force myself to remember the good times, but... Wait a minute. Do these thoughts teach us, or do they imprison us? I force myself to remember the good times so I'm not overwhelmed. Of all my memories, I remember clinging to her and hearing her heartbeat and feeling her warmth. I sometimes put my hand on my chest and imagine the heartbeat is hers. Ah. I get a strange feeling, as if the world is missing a piece of its grand puzzle, but somehow keeps spinning. In reality, it's me that is missing a piece. My life goes on even with that hole in my heart, but it's still there. Sometimes the weight of that loss hits me suddenly, and my legs buckle from beneath me. The seeds of understanding loss are sown when, as a child, you lose your favorite toy. You throw it into a river, you leave it far behind, and you slowly start to realize that it's finally gone forever. You cry your eyes out, and you think the whole world is coming to an end. Your parents try to calm you down. They're the stable element in your life. They seem like statues in a garden where you play, forever there, for eternity, until eternity ends. What you're left with is an open door to the world, and not much else. Claire has taken me out today. There's a small town down the road at the seaside, a few streets, a high street with malls and bars. It has its own flair. It's a welcome change from Manhattan. We'll put on fancy dresses, dress in a nice old school restaurant, or land in a nice old school restaurant, probably have a bottle of wine, just the two of us. I don't feel like being locked up in a windowless room and completely isolated from society. I don't feel like being locked up in a windowless room and completely isolated from society would help me. What would be my reason to live if I spend my entire time in fear of something unknown? I'm not sure I can trust my memory anyway. It's easier to forsake a memory that has all the marks of a dream than to simply believe it. The world can't be so fundamentally broken as to allow that memory to be true. The one who's broken must be me. I'm here to figure out what exactly is wrong with my mind. Why did it make me see that demon? Help me heal, Claire. You'll surely figure out my illness and cure me. Now that is a pretty fancy dress there. Oh no, what? What? No, no, not Claire. We just talked about how she lost her mom when she was 17. Now she's there to get away from this bad demon experience she had. And Claire? What's going on with Claire? Oh, look at her face. Oh my gosh. Wow, and there's no words either. There's no words. I'm wrapped up in this. Oh my god, guys. Robo Ron's like, oh no. Yikes. That face, man. Look at that face. Oh no, look at the tears, guys. No. What happened to Claire? No. Claire. Oh my god, this poor girl. No. And then the sad music starts. No, guys. No. Oh my gosh. Look at the tears welling up in her eyes here. Look how big those blobs are. Look at her trembling. You can see the trembles all over. Her face, her shoulders, her hands. Those are tremble marks, guys. Sweat above her. This is not tears up here. She's sweating as well. Oh no. What happened to Claire? What the heck? What the heck? Alice says, why are you giving this pin back to me? Why did you come? And what did you do to Claire? Oh, it's that girl. I was wondering who that was. That's that girl. What? She came back to give her mother's pin? It was just like the time when I found my mom. Yep, that's her, okay. Are you behind that too? Did you kill Mom? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That you're a demon that's been haunting me my whole life? Why are you just staring at me like a statue? Wow. Well, what are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to get me to understand something? By what means? Through killing everyone around me? You might as well kill me now. I have nothing left in this world except for the hairpin. You destroyed the present and you made me think of my past. Why? What's so special about the past? Why can't I just live here? I've built a life here. Why did you have to destroy my present? The world around me collapses into nothingness. There's nothingness. There's nothing here but an endless void of light. Just complete light. I no longer care about that little monster girl. She's not important to me anymore. The void takes me in and nothingness surrounds me. And then, I remember. Oh, what? What? Mom says, oh my God, honey, wake up. Why won't you open your eyes? That's her when she was younger? Mom? Doc says, the cocaine she took was mixed with something that she had a bad reaction to. It's not uncommon, unfortunately. I'm glad you brought her here so quickly. She might not have pulled through otherwise. I remember. This isn't Manhattan. I didn't wake up to find my mom dead that morning. I didn't wake up that morning. I'm lost. I'm afraid. And, okay, this isn't Manhattan. I didn't wake up to find my mom dead that morning. I didn't even wake up that morning. I'm lost. I'm afraid. And my past suddenly connects with my present. I forget about my dream. Did I even dream? It fades quickly, leaving abstract images and disconnected emotions. There are no demons in this world. No horrible monsters. Just the ones you yourself create. Alright, I forget about my dream. Was it even a dream? It fades quickly, leaving abstract images and disconnected emotions. There are no demons in this world. There are no horrible monsters. The only demons and monsters we have are the ones that we create ourselves. Probably a lot of truth in that. I don't want to be a monster, nor do I want to become a shadow that disappears into the bright lights of a metropolis. I want to be alive in this universe. There's a fine line between reality and dreams. Sometimes angels must appear as monsters to destroy the false reality you've created inside your mind. Okay, let's look at that again, guys. That is pretty deep. That is very deep, like Brookie Bear is saying. Sometimes angels must appear as monsters to destroy the false reality you've created inside your own mind. Wow. Sometimes angels must do bad things to undo the work of the demons inside of you. Sometimes angels must do bad things to undo the work of the demons inside you. They have to show you what is real and what isn't. You forgot to open your eyes back then. Restart. You forgot to open your eyes way back then. Hey Nick, how you doing? Welcome. Thanks for that. Saying restart. Oh, this is just restarting from the start. I like slow walks, no rush, no complications, and when I can, I make time just to walk, join the crowds, and enjoy the simple things like grocery shopping. Yeah, that's how the game started right there. Yes, guys, that was, what did you guys think of that? It took me about an hour and a half to read that. How did you guys like that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys thought of that. That was a nice anti-drug story. I think that there's a lot of truth in this. I mean, sometimes we can definitely create demons and inside of our own mind, and there's a lot of things. And you know, while I was read that through that story, that that are pretty true, pretty deep as well. Anyway, guys, that was Void and Nothingness. That was a new visual novel, and that's exactly what a visual novel is. It's a kinetic novel. They call this a kinetic novel, and a kinetic novel is basically one where you just read a story with pictures, and you don't make any choices. You're not sitting there mashing buttons. You're not doing any quick time events. You're not doing anything except reading, and reading a story given to you by a developer. So, you know, I think these things can be really good. I've done a number of these on my channel in the past, and some of them have been really good. Even free ones. If you guys haven't heard me read the sad story of Emmeline Burns, I believe it was. That was a free visual novel that I read almost a year ago. I think it was last January that I read that. The sad story of Emmeline Burns. If you guys want to hear more of my reading, and as Nick's saying, my voice is soothing and all that, go watch novels like that where I read the sad story of Emmeline Burns. We also did one a while back called Who is Mike? It was pretty darn good. I think I'm going to have to make a playlist of all the visual novels that I've read, because I've read quite a few of them. Some of them I've really liked, some of them not so much, but this was one of the better ones, I thought. I should read Creepy Pastas to us? What is that, Brookie Bear? It's cool, only been here for about 15 minutes. Yes. I agree, Brookie Bear. What is Creepy Pastas? What is that? I've never heard of it. I'll look that up. I didn't know how long that was going to go there. For a minute, I was like, around the 1 hour mark, I was thinking that I might have to, make it 2 parts, because I didn't know if it was going to be like a 3-hour read or what, but I'm glad I went ahead and finished it. Creepypastas, are like horror stories. Oh, okay. Is there a website for it or what? Creepypasta.com. Oh, this is where like just people can write their own pasta, and I assume people can read them or something. I've never heard of the site. Like here's one right here, it looks like. Latest creepypasta post. Huh. The creepy story is made popular by a lot of users on the net. You should read some in live streams before bedtime. I'll have to look into it, Brookie Bear, and make sure that it's allowed and that kind of thing. Make sure that I'm not going to get in trouble for reading them. You know, make sure it's not going to break some kind of copyright. It probably won't, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it legally if I do that. Is this what you're talking about, the website? Creepypasta.com? A higher rating of pumpkins mean it was rated better than others. Oh, right here. Okay, so this is what you're talking about. Past All Hope, written on December the 5th at midnight. This just came out. And it's rated 9 out of 10 already with 73 votes cast. Yeah, I've never heard of this. Never heard of this website. Looks pretty cool. Just a long story. And then here's another one that came out yesterday, The Forgotten. And that one has 7.6. Do we have any that are like 10 out of 10? Huh. Well, if you guys want me to do that, then I'll definitely do this. If you guys want to hear me read another creepy pasta story, I've never heard of this website, but we'll take a look at that, and maybe we'll do a creepy pasta reading here soon. Yeah, look for that, guys. Thanks for the suggestion, Brookie Bear and Old Dead Man. So, me either. We'll check that website out later. Yeah, I've never heard of it. Those are some spooky pasta noodles, man. I'm spooked. Strat says. Hey, Ava Lapine, how you doing? Ava Penelope. Oh, that's not Ava Lapine. I think it is, though. I'm not sure. Someone is lurking. Let me think. You're very welcome. Well, if that's what you guys want me to do, I'll definitely do that. It sounds like that would definitely interest a couple of you. Do I have, let's see. Let me get 5 people. I have 8 people here. 5 of you guys want me to do a creepypasta reading here in the next couple of days. If I can get 5 ones in the chat, 5 different ones out of the 8, I'll definitely do it. 5 ones in the chat, and I'll definitely do that here in the next couple of days. Give me 5 ones, guys, if you guys want me to do a creepypasta reading here. Not tonight, but sometime in the next couple of days, I'll definitely do it if I can get 5 ones in the chat. 5 ones would definitely be a majority of the people that are here right now. I have 4. Strat, Brookie Bear, Golden Bonnie, Old Deadman, and JTH, Robo Ron. There's 7. All right. Interath says, I'm dropping to bed, Zach. Sorry. It's about 5:15 a.m. Responding on Steam when you have time, buddy. Sounds good, Interath. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get together and do some Dead by Daylight soon, sometime or something too, dude. Been a long time, man. Definitely good to see you, buddy. Emma Spade is like, creepy stories are good. So 1. I think I got 8. I think I asked for 5, guys, and I got 8. I think I got 8. Yeah, with Emma said 1 too, so everybody gave me a 1. So we'll definitely do some creepypasta time. And I want to check it out, though. I want to make sure that I'm going to be allowed to do that. Because some of the stuff might be, you know, they might have the stuff copyrighted or something like that. I want to make sure I'm not breaking the rules. So I'll check that out before I do it. And then sometime within the next few days, we'll try to do that if it's allowed. All right, guys. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for being here for my reading of Void and Nothingness, the new visual novel on Steam. It is $3.99. It took me about an hour and a half to read. It would probably be something that you'd be able to read a lot quicker. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Void and Nothingness was worth it? And what would you guys give it on a scale of 1 to 10? You guys that were here for the entire reading of Void and Nothingness. You know what? I'm gonna do something here, guys. I'm gonna have you guys help me write this review. We're gonna review this game. 1.7 hours. You guys are gonna help me write a review. What do you guys think I should put in the review? 7 out of 10? Kind of have a thing for horror movies. The stories are even better, Emma says. We got a 7 and an 8. I'm going to say interesting and very thought-provoking. This is a story that you'll need to read, so people don't expect like it to be voices. And it has no voice acting. Just music that you can turn off and on or adjust via the volume control on your speakers or headset. Now, one thing this game does is it does say that it's like adult or whatever oriented. It does say it's about a short visual novel horror set in Manhattan. That's not what it said. I think they changed it. Let's see. So interesting and very thought-provoking little story here. This is a story that you'll need to read as it has no voice acting. Just music that you can turn off and on or adjust. You guys have any more? Brookie Bear says 8 out of 10 because it was a fun story to listen to with a deep meaning about it, along with a bit of horror aspect in the novel as well. I can agree with that, Brookie Bear. Anyone can relate at some point to their life, probably that it contains unexpected storylines. Okay. This novel, even though about a, what should I call her, call girl living in the big city, tells a deep and twisted, not twisted, deep and a deep story that anyone can relate to. I don't think a lot of people that are like 8 or 12 are going to get it though. That anyone older than a young teen can relate to. Life itself. It contains some very surprising twists and turns that will have you wondering what the heck, and want to keep reading until you're finished. I read this aloud to a live audience on my YouTube channel. And what did we get for ratings, guys? I think most of you guys were saying 7 or 8. Did anybody give it a 9? I'll let you guys rate it. Interath says 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. For my $5, it's too much for it, but it was good. Not that deep for $5. It was actually $4, but maybe $5 where you're at. 8. Seeing some 7, 8s. Okay. Sanic was saying give it a 9. And they all seem to enjoy it. And the average rating from them after listening to it, about an 8 out of 10. I'll say that. I'm going to say it might be a little overpriced at $3.99. But it took me about an hour and a half to read it out loud. Story was pretty good. Definitely kept my interest. But felt like it was a little overpriced. Because of the higher price than I'd like to see for this, I give this visual novel 7 out of 10. You guys cool with that? Sanix saying 9. Let's give it a 9. I'm going to say because of the price, I'm going to cut it down to a 7. But most people, it seemed like most of you guys thought it was either a 7, an average of an 8. Sanix saying 9. A lot of people are saying 8. Some people are saying 7. So, but because of the price is a little bit high for it, I think a lot of people are going to be able to read this in under an hour by themselves. And because of that, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to cut it down a little bit just for value-wise. But it was pretty good. But I will recommend it. I will recommend it. That is the first time, guys, I've ever written a review. But this game needed a review. No user reviews, as you can see right here. Nobody's yet reviewed this game yet, and it came out Saturday. It came out Saturday, and nobody's yet reviewed it yet. So we got the first review in on this, guys. And I gave it a 7 out of 10. Just because I thought it was a little expensive for you know what it was. But let me show you guys Sad Story of Emmeline Burns. And the one reason that game gets a 7 from me is like this particular novel here, which I read. I read this right when it came out in January as well. This one here was a visual novel where, again, it was the same kind of thing. You just read it, and it was about 2 girls that grow up. And this game was really, I thought this one was really, really good. In fact, I'd probably give this one an 8.5 or a 9. It took me 3 hours to read it, but this one was completely free. So if you guys want to go read this yourself, you can definitely do that. This is one that I can just think of offhand that I read that was really good. I also liked Who About Mike as well. So what I'm going to do, guys, is look, if you guys want to hear more of me reading these visual novels like this, we already know about Zombie Exodus that I read. I have the Zombie Exodus, and I recently read the Zombie Exodus Safe Haven. So you guys know about those. But if you guys want to see more of these visual novels with pictures like you saw on that one, I'm going to make a playlist of all my visual novel readings, like this story that I read tonight and the Sad Story of Emmeline Burns. I'll definitely make a playlist of that, guys. In fact, why don't I go ahead and do that while you guys are here and you guys can kind of talk to me. And I'm not going to be playing any more games on live stream tonight. But I want you, because I don't remember all the ones that I've done. Hang on, guys. Let's go ahead and create that visual novel. That visual novel playlist right now. Inarath says, going to stay for a few minutes more. I always enjoy my time more in here. I'm glad you came, Inarath. It's been forever since I've seen you, bro. Do you ever play The Walking Dead anymore, Inarath? Or did you finally get tired of that? Inarath, I have over 1,100 hours in Walking Dead now. Yeah, I have over 1,100 hours, man. Let's go ahead and do... my channel. Where is... playlist? Here we go. So to get to my playlist, guys, you just go to my home page and you can click playlist and you can see all the different playlists I've done. So for example, you can see my cooking and recipes. You can see Hurt World specifically. You can watch all my videos I did on Zombie Exodus Safe Haven. Or if you want to watch the first Zombie Exodus, you can find that one. The Walking Dead Season 1, for example, is right here. I played The Last of Us. Did a complete playthrough of The Last of Us on the PS4 about a year and a half ago. You can watch that right here. I have Valiant Hearts was amazing. I like that one. Here's An Octave Higher. I never finished that one. That one was actually pretty good, but I never did finish that one. You can see I've done 7 videos on that one, though. And Tarantula videos. You can see my Bearded Dragon videos. Here's Zombie Exodus, the first one. Well, let's go ahead and create a new playlist, guys. Let's find all the playlist. I'm going to say short visual novels. It's going to take me a minute to make this playlist, guys, because I have over 1,600 videos on my channel. Short video novels, we'll create that one. And now we need to add videos. And, well, I'm definitely going to put this one in here. So this one will be at the top, and then we're going to go ahead and create I Know the Sad Story of Emmeline Burns is one. And I'm just going to put Zaxtor99. I don't see it. Anyway, guys, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this playlist. But look for this playlist, which I'm calling Short Visual Novels. I'll have that completed within the next few hours, for sure. So look at it tomorrow. Look for it tomorrow. If you guys want to hear more visual novels like what I read tonight, definitely check out this playlist. It'll be on my channel here soon. All right, guys, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for being here. I will definitely be back probably tomorrow with more gameplay. I have more games developers have given me to play on my channel and get exposure, so we'll definitely be doing some more of this real soon. I want to thank you guys for watching. You guys have an awesome night, and don't let your demons, what we learned tonight in the novel tonight is don't let those monsters and demons in your life become too big. We wouldn't want them to overwhelm you. A lot of us have demons in our lives that we need to conquer, and it's best to conquer them instead of trying to run from them. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. You guys have a great one. Take care, everybody. Love you all.